In the next few slides, we're going to talk about the 5 most common and costly mistakes businesses make with their data backups. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. They use outdated backup systems that are prone to failure and corruption. There are various industries that report that 42 to 71% of tape restores will fail. Yes, people out there still use tapes for their backup solutions. Now here's why tapes are going to fail. Tape drives are fragile, they're highly susceptible to heat, humidity, magnetic interference. These tapes must be replaced every 6 to 12 months as recommended. But not every business replaces them. They continue to keep using the tapes and overwriting the data. Eventually the tape is going to fail and you're not going to be able to overwrite anymore. Plus, the data is not encrypted on a tape as it would be any other sort of media. The technology is just not there for tapes to do encryption. Mistake number 2. They never validate their backup and simply hope their data will be there, or that their IT guy has them covered. Most of these common causes for the backup failures: the backup schedule was not set properly, the schedule was set but never ran a backup but had errors, incomplete, corrupted, no one got a notification that the failure happened. The backup ran but cannot be found because somebody took the media home with them, the drive was misplaced, or the data corruption on the storage unit for the backup. These are the kind of things that happen out there, more common than you think. With the best practices and policies and procedures in place, these things can be avoided. Mistake number 3. They depend on their users to save important data to their server and not on the laptops or mobile devices. Yeah, right. The laptops being used in the business these days, some of them, the companies will allow BYOD, bring your own device to work. That means none of the data is on a server or in a centralized location somewhere to be backed up. So what do? You need to really enforce a policy to enforce the employees to make sure that data is saved there, or you have a particular program that's installed on your network for these BYOD devices that ensures that the data is always going to be backed up to a centralized location. Now, 40% of these businesses rely on their users to follow a company policy of backing up data. It doesn't always work, as only 34% of them never do. You can have a policy written for all that stuff, but again, it's just human nature. People are going to make mistakes. Unless you have the right pieces in place and the right technologies, you may not be covered. Mistake number 4. They don't think anything bad could ever happen to them. However, data loss is not caused by natural disasters. We talked about this a few slides ago, that we said about the hardware failure being about 40%. The mechanical devices, the electronics are not made the same way. These things are going to fail, just a matter of when. Human error, like I said, 29% seems awfully low. Humans make mistakes. They accidentally delete files. They open up that email they shouldn't have and cause massive data loss. You have software corruption from improper updates or proper checking from these big company vendors. The viruses and hackers out there trying to attack the networks. Not directly at you, but just the fact that they're floating around out there on the web. You have theft at 9%. If you have traveling salespeople or you have staff that has visiting nurses, they have laptops with them, they have information. Data can be lost or stolen that way. And the 3% is due to natural disasters. And with the effects of El Nino this year being 2016, is that number is projected to be a little bit higher due to the flooding and the lightning damages that are maybe caused here in the Northeast this year. I should have had a little bit of a drum roll for this slide number 5. But here we are. The biggest mistake businesses make with their backups: they believe that their backup equals disaster recovery and business continuity. That is so false, because there's so much more involved with a disaster recovery and a business continuity plan. It's not about just restoring your data and getting back to work. No, there is a lot more involved, because without having a proper disaster recovery or business continuity plan done up for your business already, let's say, for instance, that all of a sudden you come in one morning, there was a fire. And you didn't know there was a fire until you go into the back room to go put your lunch in the refrigerator. And this server is totally cooked. Now what? You go into panic mode. Or do you go to your filing cabinet, or do you go to another source where you have the documentation to say, hey, okay, we just lost our file server and we're not able to work again. What is the first step? That's what the business continuity and disaster recovery plan is able to do for your business. Now every business has this, and it is something that businesses should do. And it is something that we do here at ASG, is we can help you write up that business continuity plan for your IT side and at least get you started into the regular business continuity of just your everyday stuff.